If you've built a Power App and you wanted your own buttons to appear here, it's never been easier. Today, Casey and Prabhat show us the modern command designer and how you can add your own Power FX buttons today on PowerCat Live. Welcome to PowerCat Live. My name is Phil Topness with the PowerCat team. Today I'm here with Prabhat Pandey, engineering manager, and Casey Burke, program manager, both from the Power Apps team. Hey, you guys.
Hi.
So thanks for being here today and talking about the modern command designer, which I have been waiting for. But first, talk a little bit about yourselves. Prabhat, talk a little bit about how you got this role in what you've done at Microsoft.
Yeah, I have been with Microsoft close to 15 years now.
Yeah.
And my journey started with a dynamic CRM 15 years ago. And since then, I have seen that huge journey of this low-code, no-code platform. And now with the Power App, Power Platform, and get to add a lot of new cool capabilities in the low-code platform.
It's hard to manage 15 years. Imagine 15 years ago with CRM, 0.0 that we'd be here today, right? Casey, how about you?
Well, Prabhat and I have that in common. He's been around a little longer than I have, but I've worked in the dynamic CRM, as you mentioned, or dynamic space for about 10 years. Spent about 5 years in the partner channel before joining Microsoft. And now that I'm in Microsoft, I've had a number of different roles. More recently, the ALM space, and then took over commanding about 1.5 years ago.
Those are both important topics. We want to touch a little bit on ALM today, too, which is good. But first, Prabhat, talk a little bit about what is the modern command designer? What does this thing do?
Yeah, if some of you have seen old CRM, it started with the menus, and then came the time of those ribbons, the big buttons that you will see in a screen. And that's what the ribbon has been so far in all the model apps application. And Phil, the biggest problem with those ribbons are there is no designer, and their schema is so complex that
the complexity, I think, is the biggest problem. Yeah.
Creating those buttons are very difficult. And in fact, that is the last low-code barrier that we have in Power Platform. So then this new command bar designers and new concept came together, and we thought, okay, let's go and build something actually. So any maker can build application and add buttons quickly.
And so we've been waiting for this a while. Casey, why now? Why is it coming along now?
Yeah, so it's actually been pitched multiple times throughout history, right? Because there's never been a designer. A lot of people say why. And, it's a good question, right? And why now is really comes down to timing. We have a lot of big bets we're making as a platform, right? We're doing custom pages, rolling out Power FX as the de facto programming language for low code, and especially around our platform. So really these things kind of fell into place the right time where they became big enough to say, yeah, we actually need to do this now. And commanding is one of the things that are going to start stitching all this together into a more cohesive app building and app runtime experience.
So we've been waiting for this for a long time, and you made a compelling case. Can you show it to us?
Yeah, let's take a quick look.
I want to add a couple custom commands to the challenge table. So we're going to go ahead and edit the command bar. And I want to edit the main form for the challenge table. From here, now I have the option to create multiple different types of commands. For this example, I'll use a dropdown. Extend challenge date. Let's go ahead and give it an icon. You can see it automatically adds a group for me. So let's give it a title. Now let's go ahead and add a command within the dropdown. This one, let's call it extend by 1 week. So again, we'll give it an icon. And now let's define an action for this command. So what should happen when the button is clicked? This is made incredibly simple now by using Power FX. You no longer have to use JavaScript. In this example, I'm going to show a confirmation dialog and ask the end user if they want to extend the date. And so, do you want to extend it by 1 week? So you can see here, we're updating the record with a patch function using self.selected, which is the current record, and then we're going to update both of these dates by 1 week. Now let's go ahead and define visibility logic, so which users should actually see this button. For this, we're going to use the record info function to make sure that they have edit access on the challenge record that they're actually trying to edit. So now I'm on the challenge record, and just to see this working in action, click over here to show you the dates. So pay attention particularly to these two dates right here, so 5/20 and 5/25. So if we click extend by 1 week, we'll get a confirmation dialog. And when I click OK, both these dates are going to immediately update.
And so with this is all now GA, general availability. What's new for GA that people that have been looking at this may not yet know about?
So basically, we have a lot of optimizations to the performance and the reliability. And because classic commanding was so problematic, that's really why it has to be rock solid, right? We want to get people over to the new framework, not repeat our past mistakes. Then there's a ton of new features coming out as far as PowerFX goes. So being able to do more with PowerFX, a lot of common commanding use cases as far as checking permissions on who should have, who should see the button or not. The first two things here is just around reliability, ease of use. And then we also have a lot of different parity gaps with classic commanding. So we added, for example, the ability to just say a command will only be visible in my app during the preview. But there's a ton more stuff coming out in this space, like split buttons, flyouts, all those types of things.
Those are great.
Classic, and we needed to go back and support that now on the new infrastructure.
Yeah. So there's a lot already added for this GA milestone. What's coming next? Where do you take this?
So the next step, and really something that we're already working on, is the ability to migrate things over from the old model. There's a ton of benefit in doing so. It's going to be a lot more reliable. You can use Command Designer, PowerFX, all these new things, right? So we want to migrate our first-party stuff over, and that'll open up scenarios from the most basic to the most advanced. I just want to go in and hide this first-party button in my app.
Yes.
Can I do that? You'll be able to do that once it's migrated. And that's the approach that we've taken, is we don't want to try to support from a designer perspective, classic and modern, but we want to make it incredibly simpler to get over to this new framework. And so as that's rolling out, then we're also going to provide the ability for customers to take their existing solutions with classic ribbons and in the click of a button, migrate everything in that whole solution. It'll all be on the new framework, ready to use.
So there's a lot here. If someone wants to go try this out, where do you recommend they go?
There's an existing blog out there during the preview and documentation. We'll also be posting a lot of different updates with the GA things that are coming out. So keep an eye on the docs. Phil, I think you're going to post something too.
On the description.
All right. Perfect.
Prabhat, Casey, thank you so much for taking the time to show us the Modern Command Designer. And for everyone that's watching this, go out and try it. You'd be amazed what you can do. Thanks.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for having us.
Now, before you go, we are making new videos every week. Click this Microsoft logo to subscribe and you'll be the first to see them. And look over here for a couple of videos that can make you a Power Platform expert.